Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Gently place your attention on your breath. Just setting it there. Watching the sensations of your breath. Be aware of the movement of your body as you breathe in and breathe out. The sensation in your nose as you breathe in and breathe out, breathe out. Just let everything else fall away. Nothing more important than watching your breath right now. Breathing freely into your lower belly. Letting go of all the tension, concepts, and your habitual preoccupations and fixations. Just releasing completely into your breath. Melting and merging with that sensation. Releasing totally, letting go and letting be. Setting everything free. In the natural state of awareness. In harmony, in peace, at rest. See through yourself and see Buddha. Soaring clear and spacious. Rely on being rather than doing. Nothing to understand or become. Open to the wisdom of allowing your uninhibited natural flow. Embrace your spontaneous wakefulness and awareness. It's already there. Remember, there's nothing to achieve. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing special to be or become, just sitting and breathing and being. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Ishtadrido Me Bhava Suttokayo Me Bhava Suppokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsam Me Sitsam Shreyam Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajrama Me Mutsa Vajri Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Senopa Tishtadrido Me Bhava Suttokayo Me Bhava Suppokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsam Me Sitsam Shreyam Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajrama Me Mutsa Vajri Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Tishtadrido Me Bhava Suttokayo Me Bhava Suppokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsam Me Sitsam Shreyam Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajrama Me Mutsa Vajri Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all realms of existence, an end to war, violence, poverty, injustice, and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. That Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra is one that's near and dear to me. I don't tell this story very often, but I decided that I needed to do a nundro of 110,000 chants of Vajrasattva, and I went to Lama Surya Das, or tried to go to Lama Surya Das and ask for his permission and empowerment to do that. Some teachers require you to have an empowerment, and they can go open them up and say, yes, you can go do it. And there's reasons for that. Maybe they think that you're ready or not ready, or maybe you should be doing something else rather than that. Well, I learned in that exercise that Lama Surya Das doesn't like to give empowerments, and I didn't know. So I kept trying to get in front of him and kept trying to get in front of him to say, I think I need to do this exercise of purification. And he blew me off, literally blew me off, and got into a car and drove off to the airport, and then called later and left me a message. Which was, I saved it for a long time. I lost it when I switched carriers, but he was singing to me first. He named me Pawo, so he would sing, Pawo to the people, which I think was his sort of apology. And then he said, you know, I know you were trying to talk to me about some kind of a thing or whatnot, and you know, I guess it's not important. Just do what you need to do. And I thought, what do you mean it's not important? Like, it means everything to me. I think I need purification. I'm all screwed up. So I need to cleanse this, purify this. And I was so put off and hurt that he didn't give me this empowerment. And I talked to my friend Yeshe, who's the youngest older lady that I've ever met, and much like my Dharma grandmother, and has been a significant teacher in all of this. And I talked to her about it, and she said, he's just that way. He doesn't think that you need empowerment. He doesn't think that you need to have a granted access to any of this, because it is granted already. So we don't do that here. And I'll give you suggestions on, if you ask of practices that you might explore and endeavor. And the rule is that when you're ready for them, they will be powerful for you. And if you're not, then it's just a thing you're doing. And that's okay too. But I endeavored after that on my journey of 110,000 Vajrasattva mantras. And I realized after the first 25 that I was skipping a line. And then I started beating myself up about that I must not have been ready, because I didn't even know the damn chant. So I started over. And I did them with all of the lines, with the intention, and I was starting to feel a little unsuccessful, because I didn't feel purified. There's a reason that they give you 110,000 of anything, whether it be prostrations or Guru Rinpoche chants or Vajrasattva chants, that as you work through that process, you realize that what you were working at was not really what you were working at. And that's for you to discover in your own practice, whatever that is. The more you do it, the more you realize the thing that you started to do with it was not really it. So I talk a lot about purification. But when I started with purification, I really thought I needed a reset. I needed to cleanse myself from, my Catholic upbringing and all the sins that I had accumulated during that time. But it's more about purifying the mind stream and purifying that self-deprecating talk that we all kind of hammer ourselves with, of not good enough, not doing it right, not the right person, I don't have the right skills. We're kind of mean to ourselves in the quiet of our minds. But instead to purify anything, you must first be aware of it. So when you become aware that you're beating yourself up and you are your worst enemy through all of the downward talk in our heads, I figure if we are the first to say the cruel thing about ourselves, then it won't be so hard if someone else says it. So when we purify, it's more about resetting our attention level, our awareness level. So when we become aware of those self-deprecating terms, even in our head, of can't, won't, shouldn't, should, didn't, we start beating ourselves up about what we didn't say, or what we didn't do, or what we shouldn't do that we should do. It's like an ongoing self-help book of task list of what I need to do to become better. Is there a better? Ask yourself, is there a better? If the new book came out tomorrow, today, said, here's how to be the perfect person. Would you buy that book? Could you change to be that list? And would it change anything? If I develop better habits, am I better? If I start doing yoga and eating healthy, stop drinking, stop eating potato chips, stop watching The Walking Dead, will I be a better person? Can I show up better in my life? Will I be acceptable? Will I be enough if I do that? And you know what I'm going to say? Stop reading. Stop taking on a task list of things that you think you're not, and start being aware of the things that you are. When we said in the meditation, see through yourself and see Buddha, it is because we are all Buddha. And you just have to recognize that. Everyone is Buddha. Some are awake and some are asleep. So be awake and aware. And we practice that by seeing even the uncomfortable stuff. Start there. Finish there. With awareness. I've often said that enlightenment is simply awareness. But it's a little more than that. It's the awareness of your awareness. I'm aware that I'm beating myself up, and I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm beating myself up in my head. So as we do the exercise of purification, it's not about cleansing and trying to get rid of something. It's simply to be awake and aware of what we are thinking and what we are doing. Does that feel practical to you? Yeah? I want to open it up to questions. So, have you all done that about the book? Tried to be sometime in your life? I remember a lot of those books over my lifetime. The Grow Rich and this and that, and I mean even The Art of the Deal. I had multiple copies. Trying to be. Because I saw someone that I thought, oh well, that's a successful person. That's someone who's emulating what I think I want to be. And then I ended up with a task list of things I had no idea how to be. Because it wasn't me. So I say, instead of buying a self-help book, maybe buy a mirror. Learn about yourself. Discover yourself. It's part of what we do through insight meditation. When we take that scan, start with the physical scanning of the body and what do I feel? What's that sensation? What's that pain? What's that pleasure? But then we take deep dives into our psyche and even the uncomfortable thoughts. Instead of judging them and sweeping them away, oh shit, I'm not supposed to think that. That's a terrible thought. Swish, 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 swish. Instead, just see it for what it is. Arising out of something. Maybe it's just an exploration of that thought. Does it feel right? Does it feel wrong? Making true wise decisions because of that exploration rather than just sweeping it away. Sorry, your questions? Go ahead, don't be shy.
Well, I will speak up.
Yes.
I mean, I'm still struggling, and every time I come here, I say I struggle, and I am struggling. But how do you fit that in with fixing? I mean, you have to be aware. I'm aware, or I'm becoming more aware. Honestly, I am. I feel much more in tune. But I also am a teacher, and I resolve things, and I solve things. And I can't, and I live my life, you know, even without being a teacher. And how do you put that in context with fixing, wanting to remedy, wanting to change? Yeah, I write my congressman. I've called Nancy Pelosi maybe 10 times the last week and a half. You know, what else can I do to make this fit inside of me in terms of fixing and resolving and living with what we all have to live with right now, or anytime.
So
I don't get it. I don't know.
So tell me more. Explore the fixing thing. Like, explore that with me. What does that feel like? What is the fixing?
I'm totally frustrated, almost
Sure.
all the time. I mean, my husband's a government employee, so, you know, the last month has been somewhat
Challenging, I'm sure.
interesting.
Yes.
You know, but we're way beyond that. You know, you have to deal with what's going on in the world.
So what is fixing to you? Changing it
Making
so that
it
it's
different. And I do my things, but how do you reconcile that inside of yourself? The transition from being aware of what's horrible to not wanting to fix it.
And don't ever get me wrong and say that we shouldn't be taking action, wise action though. And that's more the exploration of why am I doing this? Why am I trying to make a difference? And I would explore genuine altruistic endeavor, if you will. So what does that look like for the whole picture? And I completely understand the challenge of, you know, the paycheck and that stuff, and, you know, you're being done wrong. There's a thing. So what can you do within that is wise, knowing that it is what it is, and you've done what you can. You're calling your congressman, you're doing the things that you need to do, that you can do. But what after that? Because it's not resolved, right?
Right.
Because the expectation is what?
For us to live in a more perfect world.
But your expectation from making the call to the congressman, what would be the outcome that you would? Just, you know, just the simple, like, do you expect a call back?
Pardon?
Do you expect a call back from them, or do you expect to talk to them?
Because I'm from Missouri, she's only taking taking voice messages. But they've been very kind, honestly, they have. I mean, I'm sure she's been inundated.
From both sides, I'm sure.
No, actually, I talked to a person.
Oh, good. No, I'm just saying that she's probably inundated from perspectives from both sides of the argument, if you will. So, you know, she's hopefully hearing all of the perspectives and trying to make wise decisions because of what she knows. And we do the same, right? We can't please everyone. She can't please everyone. So we do what we can, right?
But
We speak out.
how do you reconcile that not getting fixed?
That you didn't change, that you didn't win? That's the thing I think I'm getting at.
That way, because we've been dealing with it.
Right,
big time.
but, I mean, that's where I'm asking about expectation. Like, when you make an effort, when you make a wise effort, that I want to reach out and try to get my perspective in front of this person so they can understand how it's affecting me, right? So that's why I'm asking what your expected outcome is. That she just turns and fixes your case, and what if that is not in everyone's interest? And I don't, I'm just, it's about expectation though. And if you know me, I say a lot that having expectation opens the door for disappointment. So we do what we can in wise effort. Not just sitting at home in our recliner and just bitching about whatever's on television. You've made the effort. You've done what you can. But then you're struggling because, and I want you to fill in the blanks.
Well, I still feel, well, I'm not going to pass that. I still feel really like I can't. It just doesn't, being aware and not being able to fix something just bothers me so much. I'm aware of something, I see it, I see the big picture.
Because you feel powerless against it.
I do. But I'm one of a skillion, I guess, who feel that way. But how do you reconcile that on an everyday basis? And how do you implement, well, not so much how you implement, but how do you, so I'm aware of the problem. I mean, how is that going to help? Help not just me, but the rest of the world. How is it going to help at all?
Don't you think she needs to look within herself? You start with yourself, and then you radiate your feelings. You share that with the people around you, and that, because you're looking at a giant, you're looking at a world that is populated by 1 million people, and what you've done is wonderful. You should feel good about that, because a lot of us didn't do that.
Well, I am a teacher, so the thing for me is solving problems, and passing that on. And
See, to me, when you say teacher, though, teaching is teaching what is, right? Teaching, here's...
and what isn't. I mean, it's
right,
both
but
sides
teaching,
of the coin.
here's the perspective, here's the reality. So when you say solving, where does that fit in with teacher? Because that feels like two different roles to me. If you're the problem solver, or are you the teacher?
Well, you kind of you're actually, I see myself as a facilitator more than anything. My students have to decide what is good for them, individually. But I try to open up possibilities and opportunity to view, all sorts of the big picture. And I'm having real hard times for myself just reconciling how being aware is enough. I guess that is what it boils down to.
See, I think and maybe this is where Jeanette was going too, that, when you're aware of your interaction with this, when you're aware of your feelings about it, your agitation, your feeling powerless, that I can be aware that maybe I am having reactions to that, and therefore allows you to make a wiser position for yourself. You take wiser actions in that awareness, because you're not just unconsciously doing a habitual reaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And maybe switch the context as you're exploring it. Switch the context to that if this were a situation of health matters in your body that you were powerless against as well. How could you reconcile that? So if you had an illness that was not treatable, or maybe partially treatable, but you were still going to have the illness, how could you reconcile that? Knowing what you know and doing your best to do that, to change what you can. You're going to make healthier decisions. You're going to treat yourself better. You're going to get rest and take the medications that they tell you to take and take the steps that you are to take. But then what? Then what?
I haven't done that yet.
But as you explore it, explore how that might be different.
Buddhism is really optimism.
No. No, it's also facing our reactions to our discomfort. And that's a lot of what we do, is trying to be aware of how we're reacting instead of distracting ourselves from the discomfort. That we're aware of that discomfort and how we are feeding into it.
I don't get that.
Yeah. So it's not a bliss bubble. Like this is, the concepts are simple, but it's hard. It's hard because we have these habitual reactions that we've built up over our whole lives. We've been doing this as long as we've been alive. Trying to turn our attention from the things that are uncomfortable for us. And when we see that it is just discomfort, then we see it for what it is. And we can act in wise and compassionate ways because we're aware of what it is.
So that makes sense.
So think about it in terms of a pain, a physical pain, rather than even a social injustice. There's an injustice in the body of the pain or the disease or whatever. So maybe just explore what would it be like if this were in your body rather than in Washington. Yeah? And how could you explore it, embrace it for what it is, and then make wise decisions based on it? Because there is so much of it that we can't control or change. But we can put our best wise effort forward. And you're doing that. The other part is just to be compassionate with yourself, that you're hurting over it. And that you're suffering. Realize that you're putting yourself into that suffering unconsciously. Maybe a little consciously. That you're putting yourself into your state of suffering every day. No one else is doing that. And could you be more effective if you weren't strapped to your own suffering? So, Foundations of Buddhism class is coming up. We'll start on the 5th of February, which is a Tuesday, and it will run 6 weeks in here from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. It's a really good exploration of the concepts of Buddhism. I'm proud of what we've done. It's evolved each time I've taught it, and this will be the 8th, I think, time that we've done it. So it's a really good exploration. If you haven't done it, I recommend it. It's a little bit like our Sundays where there's a bit of lecture or dialogue from me, and then we open it up and talk. And how is this practical? It's very important to me that in these Sunday services and in our exploration of this, that it be practical and that we can use it and not just let it be some ancient wisdom that's scribbled in some pages or something pretty from the past, that it has some usefulness in our everyday lives. So that's my pitch. So if you haven't done it, sign up for it. There's still plenty of spaces left, and we'll peel away the layers of what Buddhism is and what it is not. So I recommend it highly. So with all of that, and Nelson is the 7th, so it's that same week, so Thursday the 7th of February, we're back there, and it's me again. So we had such a good time last month. I think we had 35 people show up, so it was a really cool experience. We're back in the Chinese temple. It's back open to us, so it's, again, one of my favorite things I do. So come and hang out with us, but sign up online so I know how many people are coming. And with all of that, let's dedicate all of this merit, all of this exploration for the benefit of all beings with the bodhicitta dedication. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Body, speech, and mind directed toward awakening and for the benefit of all beings without one single exception. Your seat. Don't overlook her. Now there's snacks and coffee. Philip. Thanks, everybody.